Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. It's you guys have to know the last 30 seconds before we go live. It's me and Jamila coming to. It's a loveless sun. It's the last 60 seconds before we go live when that graphic is running. Like Jamila and I. Me stutter pretty today. Jamila and I can see each other, but like we can't hear each other, and we're like doing these little get ready things, and I'm sitting here taking a hit off of vape and like chugging Diet Coke that can make me belch, and she's like taking a sip of water and doing very professional things, and you can tell which one of us is the professional broadcaster and which one of us is the online idiot. So it's professional
no
idiot.
Truth at all to that.
No, but I would just, but it's greetings and hallucinations. I like that a lot instead of greetings and salutations. Greetings and hallucinations, everyone. No more live stream. I think is this not on YouTube today? Is this not showing up? This should be heading into you. If it's not, I don't know. It's the internet is just not working if it's not on YouTube. Either way, this should be heading into YouTube. Anyways, someone said we need to get Jamila a better camera. It's Jamila. Have you pieced together your Amazon wish list? The people have demanded it.
I put a bunch of stuff on there, and I left it open, and
you need to say it's just
my kid put stuff on there too.
You need to send the link over. We need to like
okay. I can.
I'm just
do that. Hold on.
They're so bored with. Oh yeah, they're bored with buying shit for me. Like they've put so many pairs of adorable leggings on my butt. Like Mento, thank you for the adorable feather leggings that I have. I was planning on. Oh, I just have to show this because we keep on getting more emu bunny things in. I love this. It's Tales from the Wharf or Tales being sent back from the war front.
Oh, wow.
I'm. My love for all of the emu bunny things was just it's gotten a bit much. So, but yeah, we need to add your Amazon wish list to the list of show notes here. It cannot stand that I am the only person that is getting sent stuff from our ravenous fans that are just need to shower love. So, oof. There we go. I'm smacking microphones around. So how is you?
To be honest, I've never.
I lost your audio for a second.
I'm so sorry. I'm sitting here going, oh, begging forgiveness. See, I'm an audio person, and so the idea of camera, I'm like, okay, I know all about the Yeti mic and what have you. Camera. Google what kind of camera for live stream.
I use
and I also should
know
list. I'm over here going, oh yeah, please. I'm like, Amazon.
I'm getting about every third word, and then it trailed off and went to like every. I lost you there.
Let's see.
I don't know if it's I'm plugged right into Ethernet. Like we need to get you a better setup.
Okay, well, goodness.
Yeah, I plug right into Ethernet for these to see. It's partially because like my Wi-Fi is terrible in here, but like it's the only way I can survive these is Ethernet.
And I am going to have my Ethernet cable. Oh wait, I'm gonna. I just don't want to show everybody my ample posterior. I'm like, let me just know we've got a Ethernet cable, and I'm going to plug one in while everyone can just be like, yeah, Jamila, get your shit together. Well, I'm like, I will be doing that.
We hang out. we wait for people to get their shit together who are worth waiting for. So this is it's all good. It's fun. It's worth
so
it.
sweet.
It's a good time. We'll do the chit chatting whilst the plugging in is happening. How's it don't like and when we get back and replugged in, do you want me to take you off the screen while you're whilst you're getting things sorted out, or I will just leave it on. Anyways, we like, as Ryan said, we like ample posteriors too, and we cannot lie. Just sorry, I feel I feel we like ample posteriors was a
You
rejected
others are
name for the song. I like ample posteriors,
Oh,
and I cannot
man.
tell
Can
an
you imagine
untruth.
the writing of that? You
I
can
want-
do side bends or no, I don't want a girl too jacked. You can do side or jumping jack. No, that doesn't work.
You can do burpees.
Side bends or
You can do burpees and lunges. That doesn't have the right rhyme scheme to it. God,
yes,
writing that in the era of CrossFit would be very different.
True story. Trivia question for you.
I like trivia question.
Who was the first producer of what was the original CrossFit podcast?
I have no idea. No idea. It's there was this is like where every what there was. Yes. I didn't even realize there was a
first. It was podcasting then.
Well, like,
yeah. When
like I feel like this is where all like
I am the okay.
How? Like
so in the long times before Google was a thing, before Facebook was a thing. I fell into a group of these deranged exercisers because I just accurate. Did, and and they were, this is CrossFit. Call up Coach Greg, and he'll tell you what the workout of the day was. I could get on the telephone and call up Greg, and CrossFit I don't even remember. I'm sure it's a .com / Reebok now or something. I don't know. But anyway, I could on the phone and talk to him in like the early iteration of the forums in like 2005, 2006. I wrote a story in the Washington Post about hallucinating one of the workouts I did, and it was a literary device, but at one point I did like see a halo and think that it was an angel for a split second, but it was a really gorgeous blonde trainer. Anyway, I wrote about it in the Washington. We kind of had a falling out, but she's still near and dear to my heart. Ashley Weekly. She was called Baby Tiger, Tyger, when she did MMA fighting. She is, I haven't thought of her in years, but she was very gorgeous and very fit and had like a 10-pack. I'm not exaggerating. She had been a gymnast and whatever. Her abs were a thing.
The body fat percentage level you need to be at to have like the visible abs when you're a woman. It's like, do you remember what having a period was like?
Yes, true. However, when that's your life and you are a
exactly.
athlete, and that's what you do. So I imagine
it's the life for some people. Like I want to know if they miss cheesecake. Everyone's got their priorities. Everyone's got their priorities.
Yes,
I'm motivated enough to get down to a certain level of thin, but the people that like I always look, I like to say I always look like the before picture in weight loss commercials, the one that are like in 6 to 8
Uh,
weeks you could look like
yeah.
this. Like I always look like I'm 6 to 8 weeks away from looking really good. But like I don't have that 60 to 8 weeks of motivation in me. I'm like, nah, I like cheesecake too much. Nah.
Yeah. You know,
No.
I was playing, I wrote about this thing, and I got I published it in the Washington Post. I'm the first in history to write the word kettlebell in the Washington Post.
Huh.
Yeah, trivia all
I
day,
didn't
all about Jamila.
I did not realize you had done like that fitness writing was so much of your beat like
Yeah,
back in the day.
it's kind
Like
of how I got
I
into the science stuff, because the fitness stuff was so ridiculous. Do
yeah,
this and you'll have a body like that. Here's how to build
really.
abs. And the thing that made okay, rant coming. Stop.
I
I
Oh,
mean,
no,
stop me
no. Oh,
at any point.
it's a good way to get me to shut up is get
I
someone else
married
ranting. I
my
love it.
husband. If you ask my husband, why did Jamila marry you? He will tell you, because of my calves. Calves are all genetic. You can't add mass to your calves to get a nice full bottom belly if your parents give you the genes to make it happen. That's why calf implants are such a huge thing in Brazil.
Wow.
Butt lift and calf implants. So I was reading some crap about, oh, here's how to make your calf muscles pop out. And I'm like, oh, hell to the no, no. You cannot do, no. Now, I did not want chicken babies. Hashtag all legs matter. But I personally
Oh my
did not want chicken-legged babies. And I have that tendency on one side of my family. Now, I've got, if I were to like do what I'm supposed to do and
I
proud Mary, like I would give Tina Turner a
I
run for her money. And I
I
did
mean,
when I was playing football.
I'm sure
Mhm.
you liked his personality at least a little bit. Like a
Well,
smidge?
yeah, he's got a good one of those, but like it was all
Yeah, like
about
there's
the
no
calves, and like
okay.
I'd be like flexing. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm
wait, what
just
am I talking about? Calves, CrossFit.
yeah,
No, wait,
CrossFit.
what the hell was I saying? Wow, it got
It's
hot here real quick.
calves,
Calves, yeah, no,
CrossFit, you wrote CrossFit in the
yes,
and kettlebell in the Washington Post. I think that's how we got, like
kettlebells in the wash.
that's just so
and
funny.
and kept reading all this stuff about
Oh,
like
man.
how to improve your calves, and I'm like, honey, you can't. That's like try have me write an article about how to wake up with straight hair through the power of positive thinking. Like, no, you
It's
cannot.
it's
Not me, not this one. This is
as
literally me washing my hair and being like,
a
it does this
a
shit. Okay.
as your friend who wears wigs to cover up their thin, shitty, straight hair, trust me, it's not all it's cracked out to be. Just saying, like, it's
We
just because
all want what we can't have,
yeah,
you know.
like,
And I
I always
started to
yeah.
No,
No, it's
I'll just say I started debunking stuff
yeah.
before debunking stuff was a thing. I was like, no, but see, as the journalist in me, I would call up and harangue the editor. I would say, what the hell did you just publish? This guy said that if you do standing calf
Yeah.
raises with this much, you go to this progressive load. And I'm like, honey, no. Let me tell you, you go to the NBA. They're doing the same workouts that
Yeah,
he recommends. And a lot of
like,
those NBA
they'll
players have long,
oh, yeah,
high.
they will increase the amount that they're lifting, but it's like,
Mhm.
it's not necessarily a muscle that you're going to bulk up on a lot. Like, you'll
Exactly.
increase it to a point, but it's not like it's not a muscle that like it's not the lats, it's not the biceps. Like, and the other thing is
Exactly.
you like a lot of people will find that they can lift more and more and get their progressive load higher and higher without building a ton of, without necessarily getting that much bigger along with their higher lifting load. So that can be frustrating for some lifters. So I mean, when you want to really start to build more and more muscle, you have to get it's a complicated process of eating a lot more protein and really
Mhm.
doing a ton of like it's you have to go through processes of like or cycles of eating more and cutting and just it's like oh, this shit I've seen in lifter forums is intense.
Yes.
Mike, oh
Yes,
yeah,
and that got me into reading. I was like, what is CSCS? That's Certified
yeah,
Strength and Conditioning Coach. And you've got to have a BA before you even study for the. And I
right.
started actually calling up the universities and saying, hey, calling up their media office and saying, hey, you guys published this such and such. I need to do an interview with him. Blah blah blah. And it really helped at the time. I had an npr.org email address. So people I would send something and they'd get right back to me. Doing this just for my own efficacy to understand. And I'm like, y'all science writers are lying through your teeth, especially when it comes to women and fitness. Like,
Oh
what
yeah,
the hell?
like
I
I
know
mean
you
I
know
don't
nothing about that.
like it's almost, I don't know if embarrassing is the right word, but yeah, embarrassing. But it's like I think a lot of people just didn't do their diligence because they're like, oh, why would these people present so much false information? And there was almost I don't know if I would say a reticence to look into some of these crazy claims, but like when you get things like things like CrossFit, things like all the types of bullshit that when you and I met that I was debunking that you had debunked.
Mhm.
It's like it's hard to look at it and go, okay, all of this must be false because they can't be selling this based on so little truth that I have to go through and debunk this piece by piece to try to help people understand how big of a bill of bad goods they've been sold on. And you realize, like, after you go through all of it, you're like, oh my God, how much of this was a lie? And the reason that it gets sold so well is that people have to accept that this entire worldview is true in order
Mhm.
to accept it. And you have to pull them through a whole fucking sea of shit in order to get them out of it. And that's why people get sold on it, because they're like, well, if they have to accept a lot in order for it to be true, and then they have to re-accept
Yeah.
that they were sold on a huge lie in order to pull them out of something like this. Like after, like, do you remember and I mean, it's less so now. I feel like when I first got into skepticism, like the paleo diet and CrossFit together were like
Oh my
these
God.
two
Yeah.
like
They were
separable forces.
paleo. Early man didn't
Oh
eat
man.
grain, yo. Like early man
Oh yeah, he did.
ate everything natural. Yeah, early man died at 30. Okay. I
early
read Clay
early
Caves. I
man.
know that Isa
Yeah.
was 29 when she died, and Craig being like 33 was as old as they got. But I'm just saying
Yeah.
because just hot. Paleo diet. Oh my. Oh, don't knock
Oh
over.
man.
I've started doing all these DIY crafts and they look so much better on YouTube, and then you make them and they fall over. Damn you,
Have you
DIY
seen
laptop holder.
it's I one of my
Yeah.
favorite websites, like you just I think it was called Pinterest fails, where it was just like, here's how the cute, like, mermaid cake looks like on Pinterest, and here's the monstrosity that you will make. Yep. Yep, I've made some Pinterest monstrosities in my day. Oh
Oh my
man.
God. My favorite, I love that. And there's regretsy. Regretsy for all of the things that should never have been made in the first place.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I
god.
could open my own regretsy shop
Oh,
because like
it knows.
I'm literally actually dangerous with a glue gun. Like I will burn my fingers and
Oh
glue my
man.
fingers together. And
It's
then, now that I have a cat, there's cat hair that I don't know how it
ah!
got there.
It's the uh the only thing that I should be trusted with when it comes to crafts, I'm a really good crocheter, crocheter, and I'm a decent knitter, and like it's like I think I'm good at crocheting because like when you write it down, it looks like you're saying crocheter, and like it looks dirty, and that's of course why I can do it. But like I just started, like, I kept seeing when I was looking for yarn on Amazon, because that's what I do in my free time is I I blew all, like, this is, if you knit or crochet, you know that you blow all your money on yarn, and you justify it by saying, I'm not blowing it. I need this 27th Afghan this year. But one of the things that keeps coming up in my ads on Amazon is for like loom boards, like these things that are like all these hooks that you like. I'm like, all right, I gotta try loom knitting. So I bought this giant like loom to do. Anyways, yes, you bet we all know that you're crotchety. I am crotchety, Dick. So it's
part of your charm. Like, I love that about you.
I'm old and crotchety over here with my bright pink hair. I'm giving you all the crotchet I can. But yeah, now I've been like making me and my old crotchet. We're over here using a loom to make my husband a big old Afghan. So this is I'm just saying, I don't know how much, and it is like, I haven't done the loom knitting board thing before. The stitch on it is so effing tight that I'm like, oh my God, this is going to take forever. So anyways, I'm going to put that ball of yarn that like this yarn is taking forever because the knit is so tight. All I'm saying is I'm going to put that exact yarn onto my Amazon wish list because I might need a lot of it and I might need a few more balls of it. I'm just saying. It's really nice yarn.
Okay.
Please and thank
you.
So,
Give Yvette her balls, please. She needs them.
I need it for my crotcheting. I need balls for my crotchet.
My crotchet needs balls.
My crotchet, it needs. God, I'm 12. Very clearly not a mature ass adult. It's
well,
God.
You know.
It's arguments with you. That was a cult. That was a fucking cult.
It was, and then I had the nerve to say something akin to, well, I am clearly someone of African descent. I actually have been
How long have you been sitting on this information?
No, I'm not openly black. Okay, I'm just it's something I'm. I don't know. I'm openly black now, but
it reminds me of the George Carlin joke. You just happen to be black.
Yes, yeah. I love you so much. Yes. You know, yeah. That happy Pride. This is the first time we've been together in Pride Month, so
it's as your bisexual friend, as your bisexual friend, I appreciate that.
I'm making space. It's Pride Month, and you're in the rainbow first.
All I want to say is, guys, if you don't know how to support a friend and be an ally, or if just send an LGBTQIA person money. That's what you can do. Just send us money. I'm kidding. But no, really.
I'm not kidding. Please support Yvette because it's somebody in journalism who recognizes, you know, part of the reason, and I'll say this because I think we danced around it, but I want to be explicit about what I'm talking about here. We'll be explicit later. Too often you get editors, you get reporters who read a press release, you know, ejaculating will cure cancer in lab rats or whatever it is. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
And these are people who you know, maybe they were good students, maybe science isn't their forte, whatnot, but the rigor with which they would need to actually investigate and figure out if the claim is so is not what is conducive to hitting deadline and getting clicks.
Yep.
So in the days where I could call up the University of Michigan and say, hey, you know, I forget who they hate. They're the Wolverines. Whoever the school they didn't like.
No idea.
I can't remember. But I would call up the football rival school and I would say, hey, you Michigan just published this thing saying whatever it said. Are they right? You get everybody from the rival school calling you and saying, first of all, their cohort was blah, 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 blah. Second of all, blah, 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 blah. They didn't do this. They also only had people who were 32 to 37. So, you know, and it, you know, but that rigor that, okay, I really want to believe that eating chocolate every day is going to make me sexier. I want to believe that. How would I debunk that? You don't have that in newsrooms anymore. They got rid of all of their science pages. They're like, I am a silverback in the newsroom. I am 44 goddamn years old, okay? There is no reason there should not be somebody 25 years older than me, kid, and like making my scripts bloody red. But those people are expensive and they demand stuff and they want to be unionized. And in an age where you profit above everything in newsrooms, that's why you get bullshit reporting. And that's why you and Pride support Yvette. I'm sorry, I'm going to shut up.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that my editor, like the one that got me the one that found me out of obscurity and sent me that first email saying, "I love you, I think more than I hate the food, babe," and asked me to write that first thing that launched my career. I think she was younger than me, and she had been an editor at the New York Times. Like I hadn't started my career off as a writer, you know, like I started my career as a scientist and kind of slid sideway into this. So it's like, but it's interesting how like she's done the gambit of every, there's no way she's that much older than me, but like she's in her, if she's older than me, it's not by much, but like she's in her 30s and she's done all the things in traditional publishing and she's considered a veteran. Like that's, you know,
and that's great. There are, you know, especially at the New York Times, you're only getting, you know, well-connected people or the cream of the crop. You're getting one or the other. And I'm just angry at the New York Times about something right now, but their work is impeccable. And I love them deeply. But I do come from, you know, my relationship is Washington Post, and I'm like, yeah, we're the one that took out a president twice. But whatever, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, just the work that WAPO did on getting rid of Nixon was just like, I think if people aren't aware of how journalism can, like, I feel like there's from, I don't know. I think there's a thought from some people that journalists are just out to get a story that's going to hurt people or get like, do people understand what good journalism does for the world? Like it roots out corruption. It gets rid of lies. It shines. It is the thing that shines the disinfectant on.
Okay, couple questions. Do you remember 2008? Do you remember that
I wasn't on that many drugs yet. Yes.
Okay.
2008 was the year that I started working for the government. Actually, that I got my offer for the government job that year. I also worked in the Obama campaign. It was an interesting year in my life. So remember a lot from that year. Indeed.
Yeah.
Oh man,
so
that was a year of hope.
At that point. Yeah, hope.
Big year.
Hope. Remember that?
I also hold on. Where have I the picture's right out of frame, but I met the president that year. I got a picture of me and Joe Biden when I worked on that campaign. So there's this really
so I would see Joe Biden on the Acela a bunch of times, you know, and it was just he was there all the time. I've never gotten a picture with Joe Biden because he was just there all the time. And then all of a sudden, I'm like,
he's just Uncle Joe. Like it was funny because when I met him, he was quote just Senator Biden. Like, yeah, maybe he'll be vice president.
Yeah,
that's all.
Oh man, sorry.
He was. Maybe he'll be vice president.
The world's economy collapsed under the watch of how many economics reporters, business journalists, whatever. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming. When you don't have, I'm sorry, goddamn, do it yourself. Forgive my bouncing around.
It's, you know, like if somebody find like a setup that they think is like a good easy setup for a camera and a microphone, and we can throw it onto Jamila's wish list, that would be like, let's
I'm on my phone trying to find out what my link is. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I've turned into my mother. I don't see it, honey. Where is it? Wait.
Like, don't worry. I know I'm within. I'm already. I like to say I'm one app past my prime. Like, because I'm already at the point where I'm like, I'm too. Like, will somebody show me how the Tickamatalk works? These snap and
Oh
shatters
God.
are a little. I don't get like Instagram. I think was the last one that I really like. Oh, I know how I get this, and like I'm starting to get TikTok a bit more, and like, all right, I need to get on there and make more TikTok videos, but like. I'm at that point where I'm like, I don't get why I need 16 apps. I don't know why I need all these apps to do all this to do the same communication I could do. But like, I think I'll soon be at the point where I'm like, I need a Gen Zer to show me how these things work. Somebody
Um,
press the buttons
my
for me.
I just now have a teenager. Mine has officially, turned teen, and he just got his first actual job that made more than $600.
Yay!
He
Congratulations.
he's the Instagram content consultant
Oh, nice.
for I know the guy he works for. So
It's
Shenandoah Craft
your
.com.
your your wish
They
list
make
your wish listing has been requested for the Discord server. So like we'll
oh
get it
yeah,
sorted out and we'll get it sent over. Like it's I'm just saying they
you're
are
so wonderful.
they're so bored of buying my shit. Like so it's and also Mento, thank you for like it's I have been destroying that giant box of Airheads. Like it's I throw candy on there and I have not been without candy for the entire pandemic. Like it's just you guys
Oh
thank you for making sure that, like I said, I am always 6 to 8 weeks away from looking like an after picture for good reason.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
I could try, but
I
I like
I
candy.
I don't look for me. Okay. So I'm going back to ranting about poor health journalism because
Yeah, oh yeah.
I
It's
mean
one of my favorite subjects
the
too.
BMI is in all course, and again, the BMI was used to figure out
Uh,
European who had kind of just been through a war situation, so many
Belgium
of them were malnourished
it was something like Belgian peasants in the late 1700s, if I recall
or
correctly.
something.
Like
Yeah. Well,
it, it was
like there were
one
no
race.
people from anything near my kind of background. Places where
No,
like celebrated because all the women have them. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
it didn't.
I was an ROTC in college. I was running
Yep.
between 15 and 25 miles a week. I like at the time I thought like my 200 deadlift was because you don't want to
Which
bulk up, but
is
then
impressive.
I started realizing then, oh my god, yeah, I'm so much better than but CrossFit up into the fours. Anyhow, I started out, you got to ask the question, and it's important. What is you're paying water taxes in most places. What happened at the last water board meeting? What were the issues that they brought up? Most people don't
I,
know. I used to cover this stuff, and I don't know.
is it bad that I heard
But
waterboard meeting and my first thought was Dick Cheney? Just I can't. I'm sorry. Like I can't be the
I
only
know,
one that
yeah.
thought that.
Well,
Somebody please
we
tell
were
me.
just talking about 2008, so hope was a thing if you were,
Oh
if you knew.
man. Like it's
Yeah,
I never thought I'd be to a
you
point
know,
in history where Dick Cheney didn't seem like the biggest political villain, but here we are. Here just he doesn't see he
oh,
seems almost kind of like bland like by comparison to everything we've had for the last 4 years. Just Jesus, I'll take
yeah,
it's
well,
oh my god. It's and
W,
recall W
mhm.
and Cheney were that bad. Like
They were
let's
that
not min
bad.
like they were bad enough for Kanye West to say what was it? George Bush doesn't care about black
George Bush
people, and
doesn't care about black people.
then
Yeah.
somehow then somehow Trump was bad enough to horseshoe theory that shit. I don't know how that happened. I don't know.
It happens when you don't. It happens when you have lapdogs instead of
Yeah.
watchdogs. It happens when
Oh.
everybody's
Oh.
so
Oh,
happy to
you're
get a
good.
goddamn selfie. Oh, well, thank you. I don't.
Lapdogs
I'm
instead
not.
of watch. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm a
girl.
goddamn watchdog. Don't get me wrong. I in the privacy of my own home will totally fangirl and do the dead bug dance on my back when watching Katie Porter and her whiteboard.
Oh,
Okay.
I love
I
her.
fucking love her. I think
Oh,
she's
I love
amazing.
her.
My
We
goal in
leave
life.
her voicemails telling her how much we love her during the patron live stream every month. We're just keep up the good work.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, that show our daughters what is the possibility. Elizabeth Warren, of course, taught Katie Porter. So, like,
Right. I love that.
it's important, and we need to do this. But when
If
you've
you guys
got
weren't aware, when we say
when
she
your
taught
local
Katie,
news,
it's if you guys weren't
no, yeah,
aware, when she says she taught Katie Porter, literally she was her professor at Harvard. So how fucking cool is that? Ah. So
mm-hmm.
anyway, sorry for
Exactly.
interrupting. I just want to make sure people knew that.
When your local news is going, oh my God, who's going to be eliminated next on American Idol? Stay tuned. That's not goddamn news. That's not
No,
news.
no.
I wish we could go back to the days of jumping out of the bushes where it's like, politician X, we've got your record showing that you said you were in a meeting with such and such, but actually you were on a press junket. Press junkets aren't always bad. It's really hard to drop bombs on people who you see as people who took you in and fed you their food and showed you their traditional dance. Press junkets aren't all bad.
Yeah.
But when you do them on taxpayer dime and there's
Yeah.
nothing there but you looking at really interesting and beautiful foreign people, and you have personal relationships, that's a problem. That's what needs to be railed against, and a good reporter will suss out the difference. I just I'm so
Yeah.
damn ranty today. Why am I so ranty?
Hey,
I just do
ranty
and I
is
just
good. Like I know. Oh, one of the things that we both been that I know you've been ranting about a bit more than me this week, and it's I just look. I haven't had time to rant about everything. Was it this week or last? I have no sense of time anymore. I don't remember if it was this week or if it was last week, and we just didn't have a show last week. The 215 Indigenous children's bodies that were dug up from the school in Canada. And I saw a lot of posts from you
yeah.
about that. So I figured, let's have some time to chat about. Let's have some time to and space to chat about that, and this, probably time to get some, comments from the audience, because we haven't, we didn't chat about it. I wasn't here to chat about it last week, so we hadn't chatted about it yet. But Jesus Christ, Canada, like it's that thing where as Americans we joke about Canada being us but nice. Canada still has the fucking queen on their money, and the queen's an imperialist. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying. All my cousins are Canadian and they're nice people, but the
Mm-hmm.
government has a history of doing a lot of fucked up shit. This is the government that's led by the guy who occasionally is white. The times when he's not in blackface. I'm just saying. I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
well, yeah, there's that.
I mean, like
Here's the
we
thing.
love our Canadian prime minister boyfriend, but also he's done bad things. Just imperialism fucks
Uh,
us all.
so,
So.
as someone who to drive up and down Jefferson Davis Highway all the time, um,
Oof.
Chris Rock says, if you are Black in America, it's like having an uncle that paid for college, but he molested you.
Oof.
You've got, and that's, I think, a really great way of parsing out there are opportunities, and being born an American in a lot of ways, first Gen Xers, but in a lot of ways you hit the jackpot. Your opportunities are there.
Yeah.
Your social mobility is here, and the fact that Americans don't understand how to talk about class means that class, what's the word I'm looking for?
Class,
You can
upward mobility.
upward mobility. Yeah, upward mobility is something that can happen here much more
It's
easily than a lot of other places.
well, you know,
However,
You know, it's interesting. It used to be better here. It's actually gone down. Our ability to move upwards through it's we used to. It's
Yeah,
something we've gotten worse.
yeah, but to look at Canada and say, hey, you just like, well, it's not like nobody knew it because
Yeah,
people have been
everyone
talking
knew.
about it, but they're people who you don't think matter.
Yeah,
Indigenous people who you think were savages, so you had to steal their baby from them and put them
to
in schools where they were beaten
yeah,
and raped and killed.
yeah.
Where your policy nationally was save the man, kill the Indian. That's a
And it was
problem.
to
And
and the
I,
whole policy was to assimilate them.
and it's enraging, period, full stop. I get particularly enraged when I recognize that it was done under the auspices of religion. We
Oh
don't
Jesus.
we don't bring that up with our Canadian neighbors enough, because were I the type of person to be a con artist, yeah, Jefferson Davis in Montreal after the war. Oh
I
my
had
God,
no
somebody read.
idea.
Yes,
It's
yes,
I
yes,
I I
yes.
do I do love that we have a
You know,
very smart, very informed audience. They it's there's stuff that comes in from there that we wouldn't have had to throw out there otherwise.
it's true. If you are someone who wants the complete ability to do whatever you want, join the priest class. I
Oh,
need access to your young
ugh,
boys. I need
ugh.
access to your young boys because I'm
Oh
father
man.
such and such. You're not going to
Having
get questioned.
having grown up in the Archdiocese of Boston, if you've ever seen the movie Spotlight, that movie is number one, like chicken soup for the journalist's soul, but number two took place in my archdiocese, and one of the first people who reported a priest reported it in my it was in my town in the church where like it was they went to now here's the thing the first one of the first people that went to the cops with it, they were excommunicated from the church. And no one
Of course.
it has never been proven to this day if the son it is still suspected to say that the son he died as one of the okay, so the kid one of the kids who reported the issue, what happened, the molestation, the drinking with the kids, everything to the cops. The older brother ran track with my older brother, or cross country with my. Anyways, sometime in high school, I don't remember when. I think it was a sophomore year. He passed away suddenly, and everyone's pretty sure that it was he took his yeah. So I'm just saying, like, even if these priests are like, I'm just saying the lives are messed up forever after this, and these are real people that people know and that they went to school with and that they had I'm just when like I remember when this all happened, seeing people trying to make excuses for why they stayed in the church and make excuses for the priests and for the church as a whole, and like there were human beings being hurt by this and families that were left shattered afterwards and people that never quite got their lives back together, and somehow it was just the church was just trying to find a way to consolidate power and protect itself. And I'm like, I never quite got my faith in religion, or my ability to trust religion back after that. And I was raised Catholic, so death to my archdiocese.
Yeah. So I grew up in the Diocese of Pittsburgh. Um,
Oh geez, they had a yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
went to Duquesne University. A lot of times was named in settlements because the families will pay for a degree up to and including a master's or a JD at Duquesne University if you sign off your rights that whatnot. In Pittsburgh, the priest would give all the kids that they had raped. Forgive me if that didn't happen to someone. I don't mean to make light, but I also don't fucking mince and parse my words. Molestation is way too soft and gentle for what's happening to these children. These are children. The priest would give them a crucifix that would signal to the other priest, this kid's an easy mark. Have at pretty much.
God.
And I sat in classrooms with kids with that crucifix on. I sat in high school classrooms. The girls were and are abused too. I understand that, talking about the abuse of the boys is an important thing. But far too often, we don't talk about the fact that all the nuns knew.
Oh, Jesus.
Whole families, they would mark whole families. And yay, for once, racism worked in my favor because, too few Black Catholics, we all knew each other and we all talked.
Jesus.
So not any, or I can't find, and I have looked because these are people I grew up with. These are people I know. I can still get them on the phone. I can't find a case of a Black girl being molested. Boys, yes, but yay, fucking racism. Because I was little Miss Catholic for a good time. So,
wow.
Yeah, something else worth mentioning about Indigenous treatment in Canada is how many Native kids are in the foster care system. It's in the tens of thousands. The default is still to take children away from their families. Absolutely. And that is very similar to what happens to poor mothers, and especially if you have the nerve to be Black in the U.S.
Yeah, they're far more likely to go, oh, there's a slight issue with the thing in the family. Let's just take the kid away, as opposed to try to, help empower them to figure out their financial situation.
Poverty is not a reason to take people's children away. I recognize that there are problems where having money will easily fix it. If there's no food in the house and you win the lottery, that's not a problem for you anymore. If you're late picking your kid up from school such that the school calls child services on you, and child services comes to get your kid at 4:48 because you ride a damn bus line that breaks down all the time and you don't get to school till 5:12, and they say, well, school let out at 3:45 and your kid was here an hour and 3 minutes late and your kid is not enrolled in aftercare, so we had to by law call child services. And then now your kid is marked. So the fact that you're poor, usually Black, dependent on at least transit in cities that suck with transit, it's maddening. And yes, when white moms screw up and forget, it's like, oh, okay, well, we're going to work with you, and we know something had to be aberrant the third time this week, but
Look, if they'd used the same standard on me, the white kid at a private school that was half Jewish, like my father only had to pick me up from school twice, and being the rotten piece of shit that he was, one time he was 45 minutes late, and the other time he forgot entirely. So I'm just saying, you can be pale as shit and be a neglectful parent.
You'd have foster parents and a lot of places.
I'd be in way more therapy than I am now.
Yeah. And and then these kids get into foster care and they get abused in foster care. I live in DC where poor little Raylisha Rudd, she was 7 years old. Was she 9? Let's split the difference and call it 8. Anyway, little girl, her mom had her in DC General, which was the big homeless shelter for families, and this for school for like 70 days or something. The last person to be seen with this kid was a custodian at the homeless shelter. She had some foster issues or whatever, and the homeless thing, and they've never found this child. They closed in on the guy who they knew she had been with, and the mother said, "Yeah, I let him take her. He seemed to like my daughter." And as the cops were closing in on him, he killed himself. We still have not found this child, and it's been like 7 years. She was 9, if I'm doing the math right. Anyway, it's just, some kids are more important. Some kids matter more than others. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of it has to do with race, but most of it has to do with money and power,
Yeah.
But then
like
again,
one tends to go with the, but just. Yeah, it's a complicated little fucking mess we've made, isn't it?
Yeah. But I will say, so this past Palm Sunday, yes, I'm starting to get my Christian mythology. This past Palm Sunday, I'm driving with my kid somewhere, and he sees and we're at a red light, and this man approaches the car, and he's being very polite about it. He's waving to me and making sure that we make eye contact, and he's coming over, and he's waving palm leaves. I guess he realized I did not have a palm cross on the front of my car, as is the fashion where I live. And he's coming over, and my son's like, "What the hell is that? Is that a dead tree? Why is he doing that?" I've done such a good job of keeping you away from religion, son. Palm Sunday is the day that Jesus rode in the Bethlehem on a donkey, and as a show of love and respect, they threw palm leaves at his feet. But then they killed him a week later. And he's like, my kid goes, "That doesn't help me, Mom. Is this a threat? Why is the man running up here with these leaves?" And I'm like, "No, you're supposed to make a crosses out of the dead palm and be like, yeah, we love Jesus, and we're going to kill him a week later."
It's funny, as an adult looking back on the Easter week stuff, it's this was all really fucked up. And if having enough separation from it now and not remembering why we did any of this, I'm these are the rituals of an ancient tribal group of people. This is not a thing that people in the year of our Lord 2021, year of our Lord, we can't get away from year of our Lord 2021 should be doing as a way to find fulfillment. We smear, and I know it was the beginning of Lent, but as someone said, Ash Wednesday, we shouldn't be smearing ashes on our face and wandering around with for a couple days with little teas on made out of branches, of dead branches, and that I'm just saying, if you look at Easter week, at Holy Week, that we consider this 1 week holy based on the lunar cycles. That's literally how it's determined. Lunar cycles. And then we talk about a man dying and rising from the dead 3 days later, but it's actually 2 days later. Come on, let's learn how to fucking count. And that's the holiest week, according to an institution that has its own country and a man wearing a dress that tells people how they're supposed to be sexual with each other. Really?
Okay, hold on. Tag, man wearing a dress, man wearing a dress. And if this was any other country, they should have bombed it to hell and back. So I come from the diocese of Pittsburgh. Anthony Bevilacqua. I don't know how to spell that, but I do know how to say it, because I was given special dispensation that as a layperson and also as a girl, I could get up and deliver the gospel before a convocation. Now, every 25 years, the Catholics get together and they're like, "It's a convocation." And they it's a holy time when you're supposed to I don't know, molest less children or something. I don't know what the hell. Anyway.
Hey. We are proper in this house of Catholicism. Molest fewer children.
That's true. As it is a number which can be quantified. It's yes, fewer children. Fewer children.
We're going to hell.
was the bishop, and he was replaced by Cardinal Donald Wuerl. Now, Donald Wuerl is the world's premier Vatican legal expert until you speak Italian. There are people who, know the canon laws better than he does. My grammar goes to shit when I'm angry. Pardon. Anyway, Donald Wuerl is the link to trace rape child to priest to parish to where they moved, priest to where, he has it all in his head. He knows everything. He is in Vatican City sanctuarying there, because if he were to set foot on U.S. soil again, they would lock his ass up that quick. He, how the racketeering laws that have taken down institutions that have systemically figured out how to do crimes, how those RICO laws haven't been enacted against the Catholic Church.
Right.
It's
money and power.
Money and power.
Yeah.
Friends I knew in high school who decided that their lives were better ended, were likely to have been raped by priests. And and these are priests that I knew. And I will say this last thing, and that's that were I to walk up to him, Cardinal, fucking flaming red bird, but I'm just going to leave it at that. Cardinal Donald Wuerl would actually know who I am. I interacted with him enough in the Diocese of Pittsburgh that he would know who I am. Even all these years later, I mean, I look the same as in my baby pictures. I'm fatter now and taller. Yeah, they need if anybody, you know what, I would vote for any candidate, and I know, I would vote for any candidate who said, yeah, my platform is bombing the Vatican. I'd be like, yep. All their treasures are stolen. All they're doing is protecting criminals. What the hell do they do? Why are they a sovereign state?
Now I want to see someone run on a bomb the Vatican platform.
Hey,
like I just want to see I just want to see what the reaction to the bomb the Vatican campaign would be.
We can we just say collectively, Sinead, we are sorry. We are sorry. You were right. We knew wrong. It.
Knew.
Well, I'm sorry. The young girls of the Catholic world knew you weren't bullshitting. We knew, and a bunch of other people did too. But and Pesci wants to punch you, and whatever. No, Sinead.
Everyone just wanted to be mad because she said the thing everyone knew out loud, and she said the disrespectful thing. Yeah, and it was, God, she had it. It's basically her career was fucked after that, and she was, God, it's the mental breakdown she had after that because people were just awful to her. It's been interesting to watch the reckoning people have had around how they treat women in the last few years, and even and the dialogue around that reckoning has been, just it's been a lot of people coming to terms with the fact that they've treated women horribly, and a lot of people mad that they have to treat women better. So interesting times. Hold on a second. My God. Dog is whining somewhere in here. Buddy, come here, boy. Come here, buddy. Buddy, I hear you whining. Get over here. I'm such a kind mother. Buddy, come here, baby. Come on, buddy. Okay, never. He'll come if he wants love. He'll get over here and get it. He's just. I have a very whiny puppy.
Oh, sorry. Puppies are super. Yeah, I'm new to being a cat parent, and I'm still getting over the whole. I feed you, and I literally clean up your leaving, and now I had to get worm medicine in you. If I come now, I'm working through that. But I really, I've spent my whole life being anti-feline. So now that I have one of my own who sleeps in bed with me with
Yep.
his little tongue out, it's so adorable though. He's like, he's so
Oh
cute.
my god.
It's yeah, I'm
Well,
learning about this, but
well, now it's your cat, so it's different.
yes,
It's this
that's
cat claimed
yes,
this cat
yeah.
claimed you as their human, so it's completely different than anyone else's piece of shit cat, obviously.
Yeah, that
I
is true. But it's so funny because I'm one of these people who I go to somebody's house and they go, "Oh, the dog hates everyone," and the dog's in my lap going,
oh.
"She's cool."
I heard a
And
theory on that recently. Like it's that basically like animals whenever when someone's just ignoring them, like that's what like that it's and no and like other people are like up in their face trying to get attention, like it overwhelms them. And so when there's one person ignoring them, they're like, okay, this person's not bothering me. So that's who they go to. So the one person who's allergic and is like, please leave me alone is like the person they're gonna bug.
oh wow, yeah, there must be something to that because I'm like, okay.
I don't know if it's true, but it's one of those like it might be it's got a glimmer of maybe it's real, and being a science journalist I should, check if it's real, but it's got it feels like it could be true, and I'm being a bad science journalist and throwing it into the universe, so it's true.
Well, yeah, of course, because that's how it goes. So yes, yes,
Yep.
yes. Yes,
Yep,
you
yep,
don't
yep.
choose them, they claim you. Damn,
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Like, I mean, oh yeah, yeah. Just the amount I've spent on cat toys. I'm like, yeah, talk about
Oh.
pussy whip because oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah, we have at one point my husband had seen a video with like these cats like being made a ball pit, like a just a like plastic balls from a ball pit, like a kitty sized one. Like, it's so he decided he's like, I'm going to be the best cat dad ever. And so he bought the just a big old plastic tub and a bunch of little plastic balls for a ball pit. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna be the best cat dad ever. You know what the cats did? I'm almost sure you know what I'm gonna tell you the cats did. They ignored the ball pit and jumped into the box that came from
Box.
Amazon with the empty box. They played with the
Oh,
they played with the paper. There was a little bit of brown paper that came in the box. They're like, "Ooh, it rustles," but they did not play with the ball pit. Yeah, not did not play with the ball pit at all. So we had this ball
oh,
pit for a while. But the balls went to
yeah.
good use. A friend of mine my friend who raises wolves, we said they loved the balls, so we sent the balls off with her.
Oh,
So
good, good.
yeah,
Yes, that's reuse and recycling in a way that matters and helps the earth,
but
and
yeah, if
saves the animals. Yes.
but just to let you know, if you
Uh,
ever see the video of the ball pit and think, "Oh, I'm gonna be the best cat," no, your cat's gonna look at you and be like, "Mom, it's
mm.
good effort, mom, good effort." Box. Why didn't you just get like I
Oh
have
man.
There's there's one box from Amazon that like look, I many boxes obviously show up here from Amazon, but there's one box that I cannot get rid of because the cats just have claimed it. Like, I don't know why, but they've decided this is the box for them. It's
Oh
"Oh,
well,
can
so
you be
I
my
burned the box for red in our barbecue pit yesterday, um, because so
come here,
my kiddo who just
buddy."
recently became a teenager decided that since we can't have a party with his friends and everything, that he wanted crab legs, and he loves king crab legs, of course. Um uh, so yeah, like a good little I am my kid's bitch. Oh my god,
He's
Poochie! He's so
he's so
adorable.
cute and so dumb. Just like
Oh,
it's not going to be a Harvard admittee. Just it's like he
well,
hears me calling from across the room while he's crying because he wants attention, and he sits there and keeps crying for another minute. Like, Mom, I don't know what to do. Like, just get over here, you idiots. Just come
oh
here,
my
and he'll be
goodness.
happy. Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
benefits from being. He is as cute as he is stupid. Like, just remember
Oh,
that. When you see him being this cute, just
wow.
remember he'll sit there for a minute and stare at me like sad while he's like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, just walk 5 feet forward. Walk 5 feet
Oh my
forward.
God.
But
Well, my
we, like
cat
I
is
said,
like
we don't choose
commandeered.
our animals.
They claim
The
us clearly. So
first one
mine
decided I was his.
decided that he wanted to roll around in the box that had the king crab legs in them. So I have a crab scented feline. Um
Oh
and
man.
that was really funny until it wasn't funny anymore. And I like, we're throwing this box out because,
Oh.
oh my God, this box reeks.
Ooh.
And so do you, feline. So yeah.
Ooh.
But the boy loved his. Who the hell? I just, I never thought I would be the soft touch parent. I never thought I'd be the one that was like, well, how long? I was the best mother in the world. There's never been a mother as good as me. And then I got pregnant. So, yeah, this kid has been running shit since I saw the plus sign, pretty much.
I feel like everyone knows exactly how they're gonna parent until they have kids. Like I this is like I this is why one of my friends are like, I have a parenting thing, like, or whatever, a quandary or whatever, and they throw it onto Facebook. Me, as a person who has never passed life through my vagina, that's I just don't throw advice. I'm like, nah, I got nothing. Like, I might have an idea, but I'm like, I don't have input for you. Like, it's the only time I have input for my friends who have questions about things to do with their kids. I'm like, you know what, you should probably vaccinate the child. Other than that, like, I don't have
Yeah.
much else to, like,
Well,
please
the thing.
give them sufficient food, water. Maybe like when they're young, you should probably keep not let them sit in their own shit for too long. Read to them. I don't know what else to tell you. The rest of that, talk to someone who's not
I
me.
feel like I feel like the if you now I'm gonna sing Sweet Honey in the Rock, who totally plagiarized Khalil Gibran. But on children, your children are not your children. They are the sons and the daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but they are not of you. um I have a child. Okay, so Jenny Weasley and Harry Potter got together and had some crotch demons
I
of their own,
I,
right?
I enjoyed that this was a
Jenny,
sudden departure from where we were. Carrie,
no,
I'm
no, no, no.
fascinated
This
on
is
this
this is
journey
about
we're on.
so Harry was a great Quidditch player, as was his
Yeah.
father, and Jenny was the pro Quidditch player. She was on the
Oh yeah.
all witches, whatever. I fucked that question up in the
Yep.
Harry Potter trivia, but she was the pro Quidditch player. Okay,
Indeed.
their kids should play Quidditch, right?
Yeah.
Well, I I was a champion debater in high school. My husband comes from pretty solid debate chops himself. Not, he's a little bit older and they did things differently back then, but he, quite done well for himself. I've got a kid who successfully explained to me why he should not be forced to join a debate team. And his arguments were so wonderful that I said, you do not need to debate. And it hurts me. Like, I see I
You're
see
like,
these
God
other
damn it.
kids. I
Your
see these
arguments
other
make me
kids.
want you on the debate team.
I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, oh, her topicality is shit, baby. You can, off the street, you can destroy. Look at that.
You're like, do you
And he's
not
like,
know the genetic material I set you up with to destroy these other
I'm,
children? Why are you not? The fruit
I'm
of
sorry,
my loom. Oh my
oh,
god.
but you have to. So I like getting advice from friends of mine who don't have crotch fruit. I like demons. Some do say goblins, but crotch fruit. Okay.
Crotch
So
fruit. Crotch fruit.
My friends who haven't spawned, you get some good ideas. I absolutely have been very helpful to friends of mine whose kids, my daughter won't go to church anymore, and I don't know why. And she's saying that God is there, and she keeps talking about this guy named Christopher Hitchens. What the hell is he? I'm like, okay, I got it. Let me talk to your kid.
Like, to be fair, in 5 years, just warn them, don't worry, in 5 years, she's going to totally hate Hitchens and Dawkins, and there's going to be a new phase 5 years from now. So don't,
there's
just,
that,
just warn them. There'll be phases to this.
And I like to tell the kids, look, your parents need to think that you believe their delusions, okay? Like, and if they're girls, if they're, I don't do, I've always been asked to talk to girls. I haven't really been asked to talk to boys. I will talk, but I'm also really clear to be like, and they want to control your sexuality. You realize that the idea that like you're free to run and have all the sex you want, like that flies in the face of why they're trying to tell you that, Sister Felicita is to be listened to when this woman has never had sex because she joined a convent at 16 and now she's 8,700 years old or something. I really believe they get here how they're going to be. They get here how they're going to be. You can feed them, you can water them, you can direct them, but like that compass that, yeah.
Are you friends with DJ Grothy? From he used to be head of he's posted this a few times, and he's probably I don't know how right he is, but I'm gonna guess he's like the point he's made of this is right enough. But basically he's like, short of child molestation, most parents don't have more than like 20% of input or of like parents really don't affect much of what of a child's personality. Like most of it is what happens to most of it is one how they were born, and number two, the outside world. But like how they're raised, other than being like, as long as like you have a standard enough childhood, like most of the stuff that a parent's going to do is not going to fuck up their kids. And I was like, that kind of that reassures me a little bit. But you're like actually no.
There are cultural things that absolutely matter. When you particularly, half of my family is like Southern Baptist, half of, Black people. One of my uncles runs a Blacks for Trump chapter. Great uncles, but whatever. So like, I come from people who are like, yeah, we know this religion was founded on making sure that slavery was a thing, but damn it, we'd have been heathens naked in Africa otherwise. Like, that's some of my family. Okay.
Wow.
I also, yeah. So be like,
you see those people on the news sometimes, but
like, who the hell is that? I'm like, oh my God, please don't be Uncle. Mom, Uncle is on TV.
Like I said, my father is the Republican who committed voter fraud. So we've all got that one branch of the family tree that should have been pruned.
Oh man, yeah, there's that. And it's like the other half of my family are Muslim, and this from hijabi to my cousin who out unicorns me because he is also a Black atheist Muslim, but he's gay. I need to tell him Happy Pride too. Anyway, I'm like, damn it, I just I don't know what is my place on in the flag. I am
ally,
there,
and we're happy to have you. Look, if one day you decide to give women a try, give me a call. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying.
I read recognize that I just, and it's not, to be blunt, it's not a shame thing for me or anything like that. It's, and this is talking about how you were raised, and it's, only,
Yeah.
Molestation. But I come from people who are very private, and such that even now,
Yeah.
unless we're in bed, you're not going to know what my sexuality. There are a lot of people who presume. There are a lot of people who actually have guessed never get any kind of affirmation unless we're naked together. Whoever those people happen to be, and I just, but that, and frankly, that's my right. I don't think that anybody else
Exactly.
to come in, come out, come up, come down, come. You owe it to yourself to come. But
Indeed.
whatever. Yeah, and it is okay to be cis hetero, which, hey, I mean, we keep the species going, but
It's some people have to be the breeders.
yeah,
Like there's no like
yeah.
it's like, I mean, that's
But
the thing. Like
it also,
when people say you need allies, like that's a legitimate thing. Is you need straight allies. It's not like like pride is not about it's not about gaying everyone, though. It'd be fine if that happened a little bit, like at least for a weekend once in a while. I'm kidding. I mean, anyways, but like but my dog is just letting me know that he's got some opinions. But like, pride is it, oh, it's my husband's waking up, so he's like, he's gotta let me know he's got some mind about the subject. But yeah, but yeah, like pride's not about getting everyone to be a little gayer. It's about making sure, it's about it's
yeah.
it's about the fact that for a long time being gay or being anywhere in the quilt bag, and quilt bag is an actual acro for various, for it's, I forget what I think it's another way of arranging the various orientations, which I think is just cute that they've managed to put it into the word quilt bag. But I think for
That's
so
cool.
long it was, yeah, it's, I think it's, queer, yeah, it's, god, someone spelled it out, but then someone was
Undeclared.
like,
I'm
yeah,
making that up. I don't know what
yeah,
that
but
is.
they did the whole thing, and then someone pointed out that they didn't have non-binary in there, and they were like, "Oh, you should turn it into quilt bang." And I'm like, "Quilt bang? We should have some quilt bangs." I like quilt bang.
Ooh.
So instead of LGBTQIA, I'm calling it the quilt bang now. I like that. It's inclusive
You
and
know,
sexy.
there's something to it. There's definitely something to it, and you need nice bedding. Where
Yeah.
yeah, I'm yeah, that's important to me. I like pillows. Maybe I'm pillow sexual,
It's
but
as
yeah,
someone just said, it's about
it's
acceptance of love being,
no,
and it's
you
like
know what?
there have been, it's, yesterday I posted about and I want to wrap this up relatively soon, but yesterday I posted about Alan Turing, and like it's Jamila and I were growing up in the 90s, and in the 90s, like, Ellen lost her career for coming out as gay, and she should have lost her career for being a cunt. Okay, let's be
Yeah,
real about
well,
this.
yeah, but in fairness, in the 90s, there were a whole lot of people who acted just like Ellen. I'm looking at you,
Yeah.
Matt Lauer, you know,
Oh yeah.
and he actually raped people, and they were
Yeah.
celebrated for
He
that.
had
And
a
she
he
was,
had a button on it. He had a rape button under his desk, didn't
yes,
he?
yes,
But
he
like,
did.
and I mean, it's
Yeah,
unclear if Ellen started acting like that back in the 90s, or if she started acting like that like after she re got famous. Like, who knows what all that shit happening to her in the 90s did to her. Like, that turned her into a cold, angry person. And I could almost understand that. Like, I you know, it's you get canceled before being canceled as a thing. I can understand that fucking with
yeah,
you, but hearing the kind of meanness and nastiness that's come out of, like, how, like, people have said, like, she'll just kind of choose someone on her staff and that's the person she'll pick on all day. And like, these kinds of stories have been confirmed over and over again. It's like before people came out and bitched about her, and this I've never forgotten this. Like, I moved to LA and, I had friends tell me, oh, don't go Hollywood on us. I'm like, that's funny. And now I'm on a TV show. Anyways, but one of the first stories I heard out here of Hollywood from a girlfriend who worked in entertainment law. And I was shocked. I'm like, this can't be real. I'm like, all right. I hear these stories and I always have, a little bit of skepticism, but I would keep in mind was the first person I heard a bitchy story about, this person's a bitch, firsthand information was fucking Ellen. Like I hadn't been out here for a
Wow.
year when I heard, story from someone who knew an assistant on the show. Like, and it was an open secret. Everyone knew. And I heard more and more like
Yeah.
before the Twitter blow up. And it's like, I live in LA. I have friends who work on shows. This was a known thing out here. So like when it came out on Twitter, like I was not surprised, and I kind of work peripherally in media and entertainment. So that was one of those, oh yeah, I was ready to believe that one. But like it's
Yeah.
it's so like back to the point of my little ramble, like, the 90s was a rough time, like because the first big celebrity that had a show that came out and that came out lost everything. All you had to do was have people know you were gay and you were gone. Like I wrote about Alan Turing yesterday, father of computing, and it's that was the kind of persecution someone would be under when they were a hero, a fucking hero to science and to the war. They were, and I mean, someone commented that it was suspected that he might not have committed suicide, that it was possible that he had the poisoned apple was planted, which Jesus Christ. But like there was it's that thing where like now and this was for a long time pride was just about having the right to exist and being and being proud and allowed to love the person you love. And now, as much as we complain about rainbow capitalism, man, the fact that companies are fucking pandering to me, fucking pander, paint that rainbow on fucking everything, pander to me instead of the Christian right, pander fucking harder. Like, and it's gross on a level, but also, if they're going to pander to someone, pander to me. It's as my husband just said, all capitalism is gross.
Yes, the problem is as we I'm just going to put this out here. They pander to you. They logo and rainbow, and then they donate to those who would make it so that you can't adopt children. They pander to you, and then they still support the campaigns of people who say, yeah, it's an aberration, and those folks need to, we need to put it back in the DSM. There are candidates who are getting money who still think that it should be put back in the DSM. So
yeah, like we currently have our first vice president who went into office being in support of gay marriage, and the previous one wanted gay people to go to conversion therapy. So we're not like, it's like for the Gen Zers who are kind of, things are not perfect for gay people, especially not for gay teens who are still getting, I'm just saying the tail end of the Gen X or the older Gen X and whatchamacallit, boomer parents are still, there are still some of them that are older, like tail end of boomer and older Gen X parents. There are still some pretty cranky little homophobes out there that kids are coming out to. And I'm sure, like, look, there are going to be homophobes in every generation, but it's getting less and less as it goes. And it's like, I worry, when kids are coming out to their parents and their teens, like that's one of the roughest times that a kid has. But luckily now, like I came out to a friend when I was in high school, and she tried to make posters that said I was a big dyke to put them on my locker. So that was what it was like and I was in small town New Hampshire.
Oh my
so that's
God. Yeah.
that's what it was like in the 90s, and I felt relatively safe, and like it was probably a lot scarier for a lot of other kids. Now, like, I have friends who like are seeing their kids, come out as gay and as trans, and their friends are accept, like, most, basically they're like, yeah, it was hard. Like, my friends have told me, yeah, my kids, they're like, yeah, it was hard in junior high, but they're fine when they get to high school. I'm like, high school? They're fine in high. Are you kidding me? Oh my god! And like,
Yeah.
it can't be easy, like, because kids are always shitty. Like, I'm sure fine still means some kids are shit, but oh my god! Like, the other thing is, my husband was a college professor for a bunch of years, and like, look, we use terms in chemistry, like we use homo and hetero, discussing like things that molecules do, and like, look, when I was in school, we always giggled at homo because we were shitty human beings. The kids don't giggle at it anymore. The kids are better than
Yeah.
us. They're
They,
fucking better than us.
yeah, well, let's see what way they come up to screw the
Oh,
planet in the meantime.
don't
But
like, don't worry. We're always
that is,
gonna
yeah.
someone's gonna suck. Like, there's always gonna be some way that every generation sucks. But I look at it and go, you know what? They're kind, like, I always figure. I always like to go back to the Simpsons thing where what's his face? Principal Skinner is like, "Is it me? No, it's the children who are wrong." And I try to keep that in mind when I'm like, the kids are gonna make us a little better, and
Yeah,
it's, if I'm sitting here going, man, I don't want to, maybe I just got to listen a little more, and it's
yeah.
gonna make everything a bit better, hopefully.
Listen to the kids, but definitely get a silverback in your newsroom who
Yeah.
can,
Yes.
hell, hey, they tried that 37 years ago. Hold on, I
And
got
tell
the
us,
file here.
here's how it failed. Maybe here's how it could succeed. Try to figure out how to
Yes,
do it
that,
better.
intergenerationality.
I like
Hire
it.
an old person.
It's make them work
Especially
together.
us news people. Yeah, yeah. I'm hopeful. I've got a, I now have a teenage boy as opposed to a
Oh my
preteen boy,
god.
and while they still use the pejorative, they go, yeah, but that doesn't, like, he's doing that because his behavior, not because of who he is attracted to. Because this dude is actually, attracted to other dudes, but he's not being a pejorative.
It's like
It's a stage of,
it's
they
interesting.
they're going to have their slurs. Look,
And
we were
hopefully,
all that
it's that thing.
age.
Yeah, it's that thing where you hope they grow out of it by the time they're an adult, but it's like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, I remember being a certain age, and there were words that we just used as kids, and they weren't,
There were
quote,
words I
bad
didn't
words.
know that were slurs. There
Oh,
were words I did not know were
there
slurs
were
until I got to college, and I'm
there
like,
were
I
words.
thought
Oh
I
yeah.
was a good person. Yeah.
Like, there was a word that I didn't realize was a slur for a black person that I use. That I used around one of my black friends, and I did not. I'll tell you about it after we're off of this. And I'm like, I was
Yeah.
mortified. Like, I don't want to even. It was just,
Yeah.
I felt like a tool when, like, it was one of those, my few people that were around looked at me like, what did you just say? And it was don't worry, it wasn't it wasn't that
Well,
word. It
yeah,
was
that
just,
one everybody knows. But yeah,
yeah, but it was like,
well,
like
true
yeah.
story. I think it was Michigan a week ago or something like this. There's a lawsuit because a pair of black employees at this restaurant were talking, and a white employee overheard and said, "Yes, I too am light, blah blah blah." And one of the black employees said, "No, you're not. That's not something that you would ever say if you knew what it was. That's not your word." And then the white
Yeah.
employee said, "I was just racially discriminated against," and got one of the black employees in that conversation fired. And it's a big thing. So, yeah,
Yikes.
and it's, well, see, again, now I'm like, wow, I actually paid attention in mass comm. Because it comes to in-group and out-group conversations. There are things that I hear my Italian friends say that there's no way I'm ever going to fix my mouth to be like, how you doing, blank? you know, y'all, hey, you know, when there, there's some interpersonal things that happen, and you're like, okay, well, actually, because this conversation's happening and I'm here, we're going to tone this down. I understand, but it's all about, it's not about, oh, I'm going to tweet about it and cancel people and whatever.
No.
Like,
it's like,
I'm not going to explain, I'm not explaining to my buddy's 87-year-old grandmother who speaks 8 words of English that saying that my child is cute and colored is not a good thing to say. Like, I'm not telling Nana that. She doesn't,
it's like,
her first language
there's
isn't
a
even
difference in
English.
how there's a difference in how you explain that to the 87-year-old grandmother and someone in their 20s who you're like, hey, that's not the term we use anymore.
When I went to college in 1994 and somebody told me I was pretty even though I was colored, I'm like, okay, sit your ass down because we're going to have a history lesson right about now. It's like, if you don't sit down, then I'm going to break your jaw. But I was a different Jamila back then. I was real.
Oh no, you're the same. Don't lie. You're the same, Jamila. You'll tell someone. You'll say. If I say something that's fucking wrong, you'll sit my ass. I hope you respect me enough to sit my ass down and tell me if I'm wrong about something. But
you know what? I also come the perspective that George Carlin is my prophet, my patron saint. And he said the role of the comedian is to find out where the line is and then to cross it. I think I've beaten the dead horse because I just love this program so much. But, I am getting a master's in comedy writing right now, and we are doing an entire, 6 weeks on you can't. Okay, so we are an international bunch. We're from all over the world, and we're going to be talking about you can't say that and figuring these things out. I would never. There are words that I say that people have said, "Oh, you can't say that," and I go,
really?
"You're not going to tell me." There are, oh, Jamila, that's ableist, and I'm like, I wasn't using it about a person. If there's something that's bad and backwards and whatever, and I say a word out a U.S. policy, you're not going to turn it around on me and say, "Oh no, you." If I'm not using it toward a person,
I've had someone tell me
they're like, "There's some words you just never say."
I've had someone tell me that using the word "stupid" was ableist, and I'm like, "Dude, this isn't it." Like, and I mean, now there are times when people have pointed out something to me that was ableist, and I was like, "Oh, that they made a good point," and I changed my language, and I'm like, you know what? If I can shift my language so that I hurt fewer people, so that I'm more inclusive, so that somebody comes away from my writing with the exact same message in a way that doesn't make them, that doesn't, hit a rough edge. I think that's a good thing for everyone. But if someone just comes into my writing and is like, I just don't like the word stupid because this was obviously meant against me, I'm like, you're looking for it now. Like I think there's a difference. Like, someone I wrote an article about the creator of the Super Soaker a month ago. It's Lonnie Johnson. We're bringing back Lonnie Johnson Day. It's February 25th. We're celebrating Lonnie Johnson Day. Someone complained that I was glorifying guns because it was, quote, a literal gun I was glorifying. It's a water pump. It's a water pump, Karen, made by a black NASA engineer. Go away, Karen. Go away. Just someone's going to be offended somehow.
Sticks. And that stick is going to be a laser. It's going to be a magic wand. It's going to be a gun. It's going to be, especially if you're, it's going to be a lot of things. And kids will figure out how to. Has nobody read Lord of the Flies? I mean, come on. Has nobody? That's why South Park is so hilarious until it goes off the rails and it's not fun. The idea that Matt and Trey had was, in the Cartman character was, let's make Archie Bunker 8 years old. What was Archie like at 8?
That
He's
is,
he's he's
and like
he's what Archie
that
would
is
have
so
looked like at
accurate.
8 years old.
And it's
You
and
know,
like here's the thing
and
about making an Archie Bunker character is you have to make it very clear that this is the asshole in the situation, and that's why Cartman works is because it's so clear that he's the piece of shit. Like they managed to make a
occasionally,
9-year-old a shitty.
yeah,
They managed to make a good 9-year-old that you can hate somehow.
yeah. You know, but it's God. I wish that ass hadn't written the book. But you know, in the shades of gray in which we
Oh
love
yeah,
to play, that's where
yeah,
all the beauty is. You
yeah.
know, Tony Soprano, murderer, racketeer, mobster, strawny,
Father.
asshole, loving father. Decent husband when Carmela was like, bitch, get over here and treat me like the wife you married. You know, then he could be a good husband.
Yeah,
Doting son. I mean, his mother deserved nothing. But then we saw her backstory and was like, without
yeah,
Tony Soprano, there would have been no Walter White. Science
yeah.
teacher. I love science teachers. Oh yeah, major internet science teacher. You know,
Look,
cancer
I'm
patient.
just saying we all every science there is almost you talk to a handful of people with science degrees almost all of us have had that discussion of if I was gonna cook some meth for a living, how would I do it? Like, you know, it's like there's none of us that haven't that hasn't entertained the fantasy of like, all right, how
Yeah.
dangerous could I be if necessary? All right, I'm gonna wrap this up soonish because I have to get on with my day. But there's a
Yes.
quick wrap up. But the with the whole how dangerous. Cause I always joke that I'm between all the shit that I have analyzed, work with for my master's. Like my master's being in forensics, I joke that I went to school to learn how to hide the bodies, and I'm like, look, I've analyzed nerve agents, drugs, and bombs. I'm never not at least one of the most dangerous people in a room that I'm in, but luckily I'm just entirely unmotivated to do anything with it. So you're fine, probably fine.
Yeah,
So
I feel that way. I feel that way. And I want to let everyone know if ever you see that I have had they call it in Catholicism, and I don't know about other denominations, a metanoia, a changed heart, a Saul on the road to Damascus, fall on your knees, and you realize that you are nothing but a wretched, meaningless human who's completely without purpose. You turn your heart to Christ and you accept him and you recognize that the world only exists because he desires. When I decide to spread that gospel, it's because I need for the boys' college.
I like
I'm
that.
just saying, if it were to happen.
You know what? We're gonna
You know,
we're gonna close on that note. So quickly, it's Jamila. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
okay, so I'm now using Instagram because my kid makes me.
All right.
So I'm
What's
just
your
Jamila
Instagram
Bay
handle? I'm gonna.
there. Oh,
What
oh,
is
oh, I'm
Jamila Bay?
Spar with Jamila. SPAR. Spar with Jamila. Um, like set politics and religion. PAR. Spar with Jamila.
Or with Jamila?
Um,
There we go.
I'm hanging out, doing a bunch of editing and some occasional writing at BET Online now. Seems like they want to bolster their like news ability stuff, and
Yeah.
yay!
You
So there's
just got
that,
a
and
fancy new gig at you just got yourself a fancy new gig at if you want to tell people you got
yeah.
yourself
So
into
So
awesome.
BET is part of the Viacom family. So I am technically an employee of Viacom CBS, but I'm under the BET silo. And yeah, seems that my expertise in particular Black women running for office and all the stuff that's going on. Well, there's a part of Viacom that needs that, so I'm doing a bunch of editing and some writing over there. So I'm having a good time with that, and yeah, I'm joining you every other week, so that'll be fun.
which is
I have
just
no
delightful.
idea what the hell my Amazon link thing
We
is.
will
I don't
we
know.
will
I'm
get it.
such a
We will get it set up soon. As soon as you have it, send it. Look, there are these people. To do these people need you. They're hungry.
yeah.
So good
Okay,
times. All
well,
right.
yeah,
Good.
I love each and every one of you. We're humans. We're going to make this a better place. We will figure out
I
how to
I
beat
have
the assholes.
my husband is messaging me saying, "Hey, we're gonna leave to go catch Pokemon now because it is Community Day, and I need to go catch myself some shinies." Oh, all right. This is why we're friends. Anyways, guys, as usual, there's right now. If you guys missed it the other day, we are of course doing a giveaway with givings with Withings. We're giving away two, not one but two of those lovely watches, two scales, and two blood pressure cuffs to all. It's not two to every, but we were giving there is a giveaway. We're pulling names out of a hat. Everyone who is a patron on July 8th, on my birthday, is entered to win. Giving away two of the Withings watches, scales, and blood pressure cuffs. Also, I'm sending a bunch of Bunny Emu swag. I'm sending out postcards, and I don't know, maybe I'll send more stuff. But I love all my Bunny Emu gear, as you guys effing know. Of course, sign up for Patreon to get the daily MOS sent to you, and sign up to possibly win some neat stuff. And if Patreon's not your thing, we'll take a one-time donation at PayPal. But sign up for Patreon; you get stuff out of that. And if all of that isn't your thing, and you just want to support my ass, Amazon wishlist, man. I will always take some effing candy. I love candy. Candy makes me happy. It keeps the. Anyways, I love you guys. I will see you on Friday. Jamila, stick around so we can chat for a minute. Anyways, I love you guys. I will see you next time. Bye.